So, there's a point we all reach as Gunpla builders. It goes like this. You buy a Gunpla kit, you build a Gunpla kit, the dopamine hits an unprecedented high, so you buy another one, and another one, and another one. You get what I mean. Every part of the experience is precious, so of course you never want to let it go. The unbox, the build, the finished piece. So that means you keep all of it, not just the Gunpla, but the manual and the box too. And then boxes build up. So yeah, there's a point we all reach as Gunpla builders. The box pile. And what to do with it. Dump or keep. Clean up or become the next guy on some crazy hoarding reality TV show. Dump or keep. But there is a third option. Some people cut out the arts and frame them, pop them up on their wall, and that's cool. But you only got so much wall space after all. But someone has changed the game. Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and I saw a Instagram reel by a guy called Perfect Grade Pinoy where he took his Gundam boxes and cut them up into trading cards. I mean seriously, this is awful. This is a travesty. This is heinous. This is terrible that I never knew this when I started building Gundam kits. This is such an absolutely fantastic idea. The amount of Gundam boxes that, well, ended up in the bin that could have been saved in this absolutely kick-ass format. So this is awesome. Props to Perfect Grade Pinoy. I'm gonna give it a go. You definitely should too, and I'll throw a link to his Instagram down there in the description just in case you haven't seen it yet. Which isn't very likely, I would say. So yeah, we all get to that point at one point or stage or another where you've got yourself a Gundam kit, you finish it off, you've got it displayed, it's brilliant, and then you've got your boxes. Every builder gets to this point eventually, and that is the fact that you don't want to part with the box, but they build up so much, they're just cardboard, they're empty, this should be in the bin, but it is not, and the box arts are just phenomenal, so you don't want to waste them, and this is such a great way. Of course you can cut them into smaller or larger pieces, frame them, pop them up on your wall, something like that, but this is a great way to keep them all in a very small form, especially if you plan on building lots and lots of Gunpla. Let's give it a go. Alright, so apparently for this you're going to need some essentials, that of course being a good old pencil, sharp hobby knife, and apparently a metal ruler, but I don't have a metal one, so I'm just using this jelly one I stole from my wife. Alright, first off I guess it's time for the box surgery, so I'm going to collapse this down. So just tear these little bits off, just like so, you can get a nice, flat, workable art. So next up you're going to need some cards for a template, actually a single trading card for a template. I'm going to be using a Gundam card because, well, why wouldn't I? I will also mention they're the only trading cards I have. I'm going to go to resource. So yeah, grabbing that trading card and you're going to lay it down pretty much where you're going to cut this out. Now if you actually take a peek at his video, you'll see that he has laid it out with the name of the Gundam above as well as the Bandai logo and the high grade logo towards the bottom. So you might want to keep that in mind while choosing where you're going to place this bad boy right here. Otherwise, you're going to end up with everything covering up its face. But yeah, this looks good to me, so I'm going to kind of go in at random. So yeah, you grab your resource card, you pop it down over where you want to cut it out, you take your pencil to line all the way around it, make sure to get a good line on here because once you take this card away, if you don't have a nice old line, you'll have nothing to cut along once it actually gets to the cutting. And speaking of which, now I've got the good old line there going. This right here is more of my pretty cutting mat that's not actually for doing anything on but making videos, so I'm going to whip out the one that I actually use for getting messy with and chopping on. So that's this one. So from this point it was time to get down to the cutting, and I made every mistake you could possibly make, so let me just kind of boil them down first. You need a metal ruler. You cannot cut with the blade without a metal ruler because you're just going to cut through what you're actually trying to stabilize the blade with. So I tried that wiggly old ruler, did not work. Didn't work at all. Then I tried to use the side of another cutting mat. As you would expect, doesn't work either, just cut right on through the mat. So you definitely need some kind of metal ruler. In the end, I just gave up and went out to the workshop and got this. This is basically for measuring wood for cutting. It's nearly a meter long, it's pretty big, but it is hefty, it is metal, and it actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. The weight of this alone holds the paper down so it doesn't move ever, so cutting with this was absolutely fantastic. So highly recommend it. But I digress, back to the high-grade Gundam Xerius art. So this again I made quite a few mistakes with. When I did actually eventually cut it out, it was a little bit wiggly all over the sides from not having a metal ruler. On top of that, cutting the circular edges on the card or the curved edges is quite difficult. Got a little bit of a technique later on, but the first one got super botched. Also, the placement of the actual Gundam itself didn't work out too well because you're kind of blind when you're placing the trading card down over the art to see what you're actually getting in the end, but I did find out a smarter, easier way to actually figure it out, which I'll mention in a bit. Now, absolutely directly following what Perfect Grade Pinoy did, I cut out the high grade logo off the side of the box. The one that's on the front of the box is a little bit too big. This one has a nice bit of color around it too, so you can cut it into a nice square and it will look good on the front. Next up then, you need the name of the Gundam as well, because without all of this stuff, it just doesn't look as cool as what Perfect Grade Pinoy did. So once again, I went for the text that's on the side of the box. You can include the Japanese or just use the actual English part. I actually do recommend going with the Japanese too, because it gives it a cool feel. Right here, I just went with the English part saying Gundam Zerius, just to see how it would work out. Finally then is the chopping out of the Bandai logo. Now I did try a couple of other things in place of this, but there really is no improving perfection. His way of doing it just looks so good and is insanely nice. So cutting out the Bandai logo, the name, and the high grade logo, you're ready to finally get it put together. So just like I mentioned here, I'm not going to try and improve on perfection, so I'm laying it out in exactly the same way he did, and this is pretty much what you're going to be getting in the end. Now you need to decide how you're going to actually stick this to the card underneath. If I remember correctly, he used double-sided sticky tape in order to attach it on. I just went with some PVA glue. I felt it would just kind of adhere it nicely. It won't bulge out from the actual card itself, and honestly, it was what I have in hand. I've got no sticky tape anywhere. Thankfully, the back of all of this stuff is porous. It's just cardboard, so you can just brush on that PVA glue, not too much, and then stick it down like so, and like so, and there is your finished card. Now put this side to dry for a little while before whipping out your clear pockets to put it into to protect it forever, because you don't want to lose all of your effort by kind of mangling it when it's not dry just yet while pushing it into the sleeves. So yeah, after finishing the first card, this is not easy and it does take quite a lot of time, and you really do need the right tools. So when it came to the second box I did, which is the high grade Gaikotsu J, I tried things a little bit differently. Now first off, I did just pop the card on in the standard way I did before in order to pencil this out, which I don't actually recommend. Again, I've got a better tip I will talk about a little bit later. At this point then, I took all of those little flaps off the side of the box to make it a little bit easier to actually cut where you want to cut without them being in the way. Finally then, with this big old metal ruler, means I was getting absolutely perfect cuts right out the gate, so this one did turn out a whole lot nicer than what we saw with the last one. And of course, just like before, it's time to cut out the Bandai logo, the high grade logo, as well as the name of the Gaikotsu J itself. So this time around I did do a whole lot better of a job. I did manage to cut the lines a lot straighter, and I did manage to actually cut the curves in the corners a little better. I did this by actually doing repeated downwards guillotine-ish motions while trying to rotate the card underneath the knife. It worked out okay, but I realized later that if you actually do it in a smooth motion, chop downwards, guillotining with a knife while turning the card, you'll get a perfect cut. Once again, PVA gluing on the name and the logos, and once again we've got one more finished card, looking a little better than last time, but I do wish the image was shifted up a little bit more. The going in blind just wasn't working, and that's when I came up with a little bit of an idea. These are eventually going to end up in these clear card sleeves, so why not use the clear card sleeve as the viewing window to choose what you will be getting in the end. So for the third box, I went with the high grade G Fred, and what I did was actually laid this clear sleeve down on the front of the box, lined up the Gundam in the way that I wanted it, and you don't even have to have it bang straight with the edges of the box. You can tilt it to get the best actual part of the box art that you want for your finished card. Then what I did was I just placed the card template over it and slid the clear piece from underneath. Now I know this is lined up perfectly, lined it out, cut it out, and this was much more nicely centered than what I had done with the previous two cards. Another tip I will mention, I did find different hobby knives worked better for different things. This style of almost like X-Acto knife right here with the kind of sliding blade, I found that better for actually slicing downwards to cut out the card as well as the logos. Whereas this kind of hobby knife style blade, this one here by Dispe, I found this better for actually chopping the edges, again with a turning motion while chopping downwards just like so, again almost like a scissor edge or a guillotine of sorts. So if you do have both types of blades available to you, this right here is what I recommend. So the whole process right here does take a little bit of practice, especially for getting those straight edges, the nice curves at the corners of the card, as well as the actual overall composition for what you will get in the end. Now I did try a couple of other things, but like I said, you cannot improve on perfection, and what Perfect Grade Pinoy did is absolute perfection. I did try to use larger and smaller text fonts to see how they work out. I do recommend leaving the Japanese over the name of the actual Gundam like he did. It's so much cooler. And I did try actually using the little logos off the corners of the boxes which say the series the kits are from. These are uniform across every kit. They are in white, they're square, and they say the series the particular mobile suit is from. However, these are white and they don't really have the same level of impact that the little Bandai logo has down in the corner. Again, cannot improve on perfection. So the next step here is to get them into some clear sleeves. This is highly recommended to keep them together over time and to protect them like you would any trading card. Now give these time to dry if you are using something like PVA glue. Now I left some of them overnight, but I found about an hour was plenty of time. Just be careful squeezing them in because these are a little bit more three-dimensional than your standard trading card due to the stuff glued onto them, so it is a little bit of a tight fit. But the card itself is quite strong, so you should have no issues with it crumpling and busting going in. So honestly, this is a process I really do love. It's such a cool thing to do. It feels like a lot of time you're wasting the box art when you do throw the boxes out. They are so nicely designed, at least most of the time when it comes to high grades and master grades, that you really don't want to lose it, especially the box of the Gundam that you built. You could even display the card side by side with the finished kit too, which would be a cool effect. Now, when it does come to some other boxes, I decided to try some more. Next up was the Master Grade SD kit, right here, which is the Gundam Aerial. Now, this isn't as nice a box art as what you would see with some of the high grades and the master grades, mainly because this is kind of just a photoshopped version of the actual model kit to look kind of a little bit more dynamic, but it is just the model kit itself on the box, so I thought it wouldn't look so good. Again, I lined it up using the clear pocket to get it just right so you can make sure the composition of the finished card will be perfect. Cut it out. And funny enough, what I got in the end is one of my favorite of the cards that I did make. It just looks so cool. All of Ariel's visage filling up the entire card. It's just lined up so perfectly and it's very dynamic with the glowing eyes. So even though this is just a kind of filtered version of the actual model kit, it works out cool. I was surprised. And when you actually do cut out the logos for on it, it just gives it maximum impact and makes it look even better in my opinion than the finished box itself did look. Now I will mention, I just cut around the Master Grade SD logo. When I take a look back now, in hindsight, Perfect Grade Pinoy actually cut directly around the SD logos, which looks so much better. So this is something I'm definitely going to do in future. Again, mastercraft, perfection, such a cool idea. The Master Grade SD logo just on there with the kind of rectangle around it does not look nearly as cool. So last up on the chopping block, quite literally, is the box of the Master Grade Sinanju I just built recently. Master Grade box arts have always been my favorite. They've always been so dynamic, over time they've been so uniform, and they're just so cool. However, they are extremely big and there's a whole lot going on in them that does make it like, is this a little bit of a waste to cut it down to just a small part? These ones to me almost feel like these should be framed. They should cut them out just to the full ass box and frame that as a piece. However, this one's going to get sacrificed because it's time to see how it will work out as one of these trading cards. Again, right here, the exact same finalized process, that is throw down the clear card sleeve as a little bit of a viewfinder to find your finished composition for your card. Pull it out, pop your template card on top, pull out the sleeve, draw around it, cut around it. And I will mention, over time, the first one took me a whole lot of time to actually do, but over time I did get a whole lot faster, and this seems like something that would be a little bit feasible in future. Because at this point I was like, well, could I get away with just cutting the box art into a card and not adding the logos on? It'll be a lot faster, you'll fill up a card binder a whole lot quicker, and you don't have to spend so much time on it, so you can get right back to building Gunpla. It just does not have the effect. It does not have the impact. I've said it maybe 20 times throughout this video so far. Can't improve on that perfection. So next up was cutting out the Master Grade logo, the Bandai logo, as well as the Sinanju name. Now it is interesting that these older kits do not have English sometimes, just the Japanese, but it still looks phenomenal. PVA glue time, slap everything on, And there is the finished card. So there's a side-by-side of if you tried to lazy asset by cutting out the box into a card without the logos, side-by-side with what it will look like with the logos on and the name. So the logos and name, outright win. It just looks so cool. Awesome format. So yeah, this right here is what the cards I made look like so far. These are really, really nice. They're cutting them out, popping the logos on them, sticking them in the sleeves. These look legit. They look so nice. And to actually be able to keep forever in a small, tiny collectible format, the box of your Gunpla is awesome. However, this does conflict a little bit with one other Gundam box related papercraft, and that is the Gunpla Coffin. Now, just in case you don't know what the Gunpla Coffin is, to basically TLDR it a little bit, it's when you cut the actual box of your Gunpla to the size of your Gunpla for long-term storage. That means you just, well, cut the box into a mini box. You cut the top into a mini top, you cut the bottom into a mini bottom, and then you put your Gunpla in. You basically measure it to size. They'll all be the same height, so they're easy to stack inside of a storage box, and you can keep your Gunpla safe and sound inside without it getting busted when you're putting more kits on top, if it is in a big old storage crate. Now, the reason this does conflict with something like the collecting the Gundam trading cards by cutting up the box arts is the fact that you may want to be keeping the Gundam box art for the central aspect of your mini Gundam box coffin, like this one right here I did with the Zaku Kai. Now this is a no-brainer to me because I would never collect, or would I? Now I'm actually saying I would never collect the box arts off a P-Bandai box because they are a little bit on the dull side. I immediately just thought that if you did a whole bunch of these in the exact same format, they would all look pretty cool. Just like monotone cards, almost like collectibles. Like shinies or something like that. Now that I think about it, I think it would be good. And it does conflict with the fact that sometimes I want to build the Gundam coffin for some kits. So yeah, that right there is it for the video, and this is amazing. Kudos to Perfect Grade Pinoy for this idea. It is so awesome. There's so much you can do with these. You can just keep them as a big old stack of cards. Like I said, you could almost pin them or have them on a clip beside the actual Gundam on your display shelf, or you can grab a card binder like this one right here and collect them all. It really does pain me and break my heart that I don't know how many Gundam kits I must have built. It must be in the thousands at this point. The amount of little mini art cards I could have at this point would be colossal and awesome. It would be great to kind of look back through them. The amount of poor boxes that would have hit that landfill or recycling center breaks my heart entirely, because this is so cool. It does take a little bit of time, but not a crazy amount of time. The first one did take me a whole lot longer, mainly because I didn't have the correct materials. Once you've got the correct materials, you will be done a whole lot quicker. If you had some kind of mini paper guillotine or something similar, so you don't actually have to be cutting everything out manually, that would make your life a whole lot simpler too. This is awesome. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Make sure to check out that link to Perfect Grade Pinoy's Instagram for more awesome content. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, news, and doing stuff like this. And I'll see you next time. It wouldn't be the end of the video without special thanks to each and every single one of you guys for watching my videos, and special thanks to the channel members and the members over on Patreon, including Caleb, Engelhardt, Joe, RG59061, Scotty Thomas, Simon, and Van Fawn.